Do you want to know how to discipline a child that shuts down? I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all over the world about parenting, good communication, how to build strong family bonds, child development, all through the lens of the principle of self-government. And in this video, we are talking about how to help someone when they're shutting down. In this video, we're going to be talking about what shutting down looks like and why it could be happening, and then how you can create a culture where the child feels safe to be disciplined and corrected. I hear from parents all of the time. In fact, I have a weekly support group where parents will ask me questions every single week. And then on a live call, I answer those questions. They're all recorded and sent out and archived for everybody and stuff like that. And on there, I hear many times from parents who say, okay, Nicholeen, now you say we need to teach the children cause and effect. You say that we need to make sure that we're consistent in our parenting, but every time I start to be consistent, every time I start to do corrections or help my child learn, then I've got this child who just shuts down. They just melt, they just cry, they won't talk to me, they go into this depression. There's a lot of different things that can happen. Sometimes even when a person is shutting down mentally, they're starting to get angry on the outside. They're venting a whole bunch of stuff, but really you can't reach them in their head, which is also a type of shutdown. Now, I know that every parent wants their child to approve of their parenting, especially because we have a generation of parents right now, me included, that probably did not approve of how they were parented. We were judgmental of our parents' parenting. We were scrutinizing the parenting oftentimes. And so because of that, we really hope that for our own confidence, because of how we treated our parents' parenting, even though they didn't know what they didn't know, which is always a thing, but we hope that our children will approve of our parenting, because wouldn't that feel nice? However, the nature of learning and the nature of being a child is that you don't always get to love everything that happens to you. That's just how it is. Life goes on. Now, can they understand the why of it? Yes. Can they have a bond and a connection? Can the parent's heart be in the right place while the correction is happening? Yes. All of those things can happen. But does the child have to love it? No. There could be a learning curve there. There could be old habits. There could be old emotional triggers. There could be things that they have to overcome that made them get emotional in the past, but they might have to choose, I'm not going to have that be an emotional thing anymore. That's right, they can choose it. So this is the Teaching Self-Government channel. Self-government is being able to determine the cause and effect of any given situation and possessing a knowledge of your own behaviors so that you can control them. So what that means is that you have a choice. You can choose if you want things to go this way or this way. You can also choose within yourself how you are going to process something. You can't, however, choose the outcomes. The only way a person truly learns self-government is if there is a structure in place that teaches cause and effect, and then they get to choose and they get to experience the consequences of that cause and effect lesson that they need to learn. So this is why parents must do corrections. They must do praises too, because that teaches a child that good equals good. And they also need to pre-teach the child or prepare them ahead of time so that they know what's coming up, so they know how to choose properly. This then teaches the child, if they do make the wrong decision, exactly what the effects will be because they were prepped for it. And then they go, oh yeah, Dad told me that, Mom told me that, I knew that. So let's talk about why your child might be shutting down. There are multiple different reasons this could happen. Some of it could be low self-confidence, that could occur. Another reason that a child might shut down is because maybe parenting has been emotional in the past. If your parenting is something that you take personally, meaning that the way that your child reacts to you emotionally or otherwise, you take it personally and you become emotional about it too. You have a lot of grief and worry and you project that so your child sees that. Or maybe you have anger, or you get short-tempered, or you emotionally manipulate or control by taking things away from the child. If you do any of those things, then your child could feel like maybe it's not safe to be corrected by mom and dad. But what if it were all predictable? If you've already subscribed to this channel, then you know that I am all about predictability, because predictability decreases anxiety. In fact, when you teach your children the exact skills that they need to disagree with you in order to get their way, that gives them a lot of peace, a lot of understanding. It increases the predictability, it increases the desire for them to want to talk to you about things. Now, I know when you're worried about a person shutting down, you're worried about just getting through it all, not even necessarily having a full discussion, but like, do you just understand why I'm correcting you right here? Do you just understand why we're having this conversation? Well, in order to get to a place of understanding, you have to get to a place of calmness. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a special gift that is going to help you with your calmness. But first, let's talk about some of the things that you can do to be more predictable in your parenting so that you can have more self-government and help your child then feel like it's okay and safe to be corrected. I am the author of many books, 11 actually, but here are 7 of them. 4 of them are children's books that teach children the skills and principles of self-government. And then these 3 books here are for adults. This book here at the back, Parenting a House United, is the main book. It goes through a lot of things for setting up an environment for self-government in your home. And it's a great start for you to start learning how you can teach your children the skills and principles of self-government. These books here each teach one of the 4 basic skills to children. The 4 basic skills are following instructions, accepting no answers and criticism, accepting consequences, and disagreeing appropriately. When a person learns the skill sets to these 4 basic skills, that actually takes care of 99% of their behavioral problems. But you might be asking, well, that's great, Nicholeen, but how can these things help with my child shutting down? This whole stack of books can help you. Starting with this book right here, Popular Parenting Methods. This book helps parents understand the different types of parenting and where they might be falling into traps that might make their children feel unsafe so that then they shut down when a correction has to happen. This book here, Roles, The Secret to Family, Business, and Social Success, helps the parent understand how to improve the relationship and attachment with the child. If the child or the parent is not clear about their roles, then the relationship is actually in jeopardy. So this story is a great one that you could even read with your family and discuss. The 4 children's books, which we already talked about, teach the 4 basic skills for children. That helps them understand how to communicate with you and how to solve problems. Not only that though, it's going to help them in all of their relationships, and you're going to be using those 4 basic skills too. They're based on principle, they're just adult skills. Everyone needs them. I mean, think about it. We all know a person who can't disagree appropriately. Then there's this book, Parenting a House United, and in this book, it talks about the parent skills that you need for your own self-governed parenting, for your own calm approach to parenting. So, Parenting a House United is your friend. In fact, all of these books are the perfect recipe to help you feel safe when you are parenting your child. The child will not love every single thing you do to parent them, whether you're using skills or not. However, if you are using skills and you teach them, when I correct you, I will say this, and then this, and then this, and this will be the negative consequence, then we'll practice after. You tell them the exact process that you will go through when you do a correction, then your child's anxiety goes down. They know you're not going to get emotional. You're not going to say mean things to them. You can even be encouraging and say, I know this happens. I know that that was just a bad moment. Let's talk about how to fix it. We're going to do a correction. You pre-teach them, prep them for a good correction. They'll use their skill called how to accept a consequence. If you correct your child and your child still shuts down, won't talk to you, maybe goes into their own head emotionally, then what you probably need is a type of intensive teaching that brings them back to calmness. Because calmness is what they absolutely need in order to not get in that place where they're completely shutting down. How can you help prepare them for calmness? Well, number one, all the skills training, understanding the roles and relationships like we've talked about. But there's also conversations that you can have with your child about what they process in the moment when they're starting to go out of control. And you might be able to help them learn some cognitive behavioral therapy skills that will help them change their thought processes. You might ask them a question like, well, before you start to yell, what happens in your body? Before that happens in your body, like before you tense your fists or you grit your teeth, what is the thought that you have in your head? Is that thought true? Maybe, but what else could be true? Oh, is there a skill you know that could help you solve that problem? You may ask them a few of those questions and then help them come up with a new thing to think. And then they'll have a new way to respond to it by using the skills that they learn in the Teaching Self-Government program. The real key to helping a child feel safe with your parenting is to change you, to change your calmness too when you are doing the corrections and the teachings with your children. Remember when I told you that I had a special gift about calmness that I was going to give you? Well, I do. In the description below this video, there is a link that says teachselfgov.com/toolkit. And if you go to that link right now, you can have my Calm Parenting Toolkit for free. The Calm Parenting Toolkit will not teach you all the things in all those books, but it will teach you some tools for calmness that you can use so that you can be better at your own self-government when you are using all of those skills with your children. Calmness will put you in the right brain. And if you can learn how to get yourself calm, then you can use those same principles to help your child get calm too. Click on the link to that video now. I'll see you there.